And today we're going to fit an ignition advancer on the wife's bike. I've seen these on the internet. They look quite good. They've had some good reviews. 4 degrees apparently gives it a smoother start and an easier start, so low down is much better. So we'll give it a go. Apparently it's very easy to change. It's just under this cover, so we'll start with that and see how we go. So I like to start with a spanner, an Allen key, take off or slacken off the bolts. I like to use an impact gun, which I've recently started to use more of, as it's much easier on the hands and the wrists. It makes life easier and quicker, but I still like to break them off with a manual one first, and then spin them out. The oil level should be below the casing, so we should only get a little bit of residue out and no flooding, hopefully. Right, so the bolts, and there we go. A little bit of residue in the casing, and there we have the original pickup sensor. This is a new impact gun, 20 volt, yes, IMCO, Indian company. I bought it because I like the color, so let's give it a go and see how it fares against motorcycle bolts. Ooh, very noisy, but that seemed to work very well. Light too, I like that. Hold on off, let's see the difference. It does seem a little more forward than the other one, so we shall give it a try and see if it makes any difference. Like I said, they're not very expensive, so if there's no difference, it's no great loss. Just give it a bit of a clean, a little bit to the old gasket off. So you got a nice flat surface. I did order a gasket for it, but with the current economic climate, parts are very hard to get hold of. Everything's on back order. And as it's not an oil bearing part of the engine, it's only splash fed, I am going to just put a little bit of silicone on the edges where the gasket came off and seal it together. I do believe in using new gaskets, but the wife wants to go on the bike on the weekend and can't get one, so I'm not going to ruin her pleasure by waiting for a gasket when 9 times out of 10 they don't need changing because it's not a oil bearing gasket. So two long ones, all the rest is short. These two look deeper. Remember the cable clamp. I like to start them by hand. Make sure the thread's in properly. Being aluminium, you don't want to put too much force on them. You can strip the threads. We're Formula One team. And then nip them up with the Allen key. Just to give you that peace of mind that they're tight, but not too tight. Unless you've got an impact gun with a torque setting on it. Well, most people don't because they're expensive. You can, if you want to be very picky, use a torque wrench to get them perfect. I'm of the old-fashioned type that the torque wrench is in my knuckles. Right, so that's the casing on. We'll do the carbs and then see if that gets any better. The wife did ask me to take the engine out to clean it, but if she can't be bothered to wash the bike, then why should I take the engine out? We'll keep that in case the other one. We'll keep that in case the other one is rubbish. Because that looks a good one, Denso. It's got marks, top dead center. Yeah. The other one might be a fraction better. We'll give it a go and see what happens.